Today we're going to talk about headlamps. You use a headlamp around camp when you're camping and it's dark out and you need to find your things or your way around. Now headlamps come in two different forms. They come in the banded model, which has an adjustable band that you can put on your head or your helmet, and then they come in an unbanded model which has a very short and lightweight retractable cord. Now the banded model is good for people that are going to have their headlamp on their head for a really long time. It's good for people with long hair. The retractable model has a tendency, as good as it is, and I do like it, has a tendency to get caught in longer hair, sometimes severely, sometimes not too bad, but it does happen, and it does happen frequently. The weight difference between the banded and the unbanded model is minuscule, but it really does come down to comfort and how much room you have to pack. Now, I went with the unbanded model for probably nearly 10 years. I have 3 or 4 different versions of this. This is the Petzl Zipka Plus 2. They don't actually make this specific model anymore, but I have a new Zipka 1 here in the box. And like I said, this is the unbanded model. It has a unique retractable pulley system that works quite well and doesn't wear down too fast. I've never actually had one of these break, so that's not something you have to be too concerned about. Let me just open up the lighting there. Okay. Outside of that, this costs about $40 on Amazon, and the Zipka Plus 2 has multi-mode options. It has one super bright LED, it has one red LED, and then it has 3 different modes for that one white light. It has high, a low, and a strobe. This was my go-to light for 2 to 3 years. I've just upgraded to the Petzl Zipka. I recommend this light for folks who don't have a lot of hair, who are looking for the lightest weight option, and who are looking for something that doesn't take up a lot of room in the pack. Now the difference between the Zipka Plus 2 and the Zipka is just the number of lighting options. The Zipka Plus 2 has the white light that can go high, low, and strobe, and then the red light, which is dimmable and adjustable. The Petzl Zipka only has a white light and essentially just has a high and a low mode. Still a great headlamp, just doesn't have the red light, which not a lot of people need. My current go-to light is this black diamond spot, and this is the creme de la creme. This has all the options, plus the band, plus it's affordable, and it's great. So let's talk about this headlight a little bit. So this is the black diamond spot. I got this off of Amazon for $32. It has one triple power LED, 2 single power white LEDs, and then 2 single power red LEDs. It takes 3 AAAs and it will last about 40 hours on high. This outputs 130 lumens, the brightest of them all. The Zipka just does 100. This is great if you need a light with all the options. This is good for exploring. This is good when you need to see things really far away. On any single backpacking trip, I'm rarely using the light more than 40 hours, and I'm mostly using rechargeable batteries, which I can recharge anyways. I highly recommend this light. It is the black diamond spot. It also has a battery indicator to let you know when you're down to a quarter battery, so it still gives you time to change out the battery. Another thing that I really like about the light is in all of the light modes, you have the ability to adjust the dimmer. You can dim the light by holding it down, and not all headlamps come with that option. They typically just come with a high and a low mode, but this one gives you the ability to dim any of the lights. It also has a really bright dual red LED setup, which is great if you don't want to lose your night vision. And the cost was only $32. This is actually $8 cheaper than the Petzl Zipka. Came within 2 days. I've been extremely happy with this light, and I recommend this for just about everything and anyone. This is the Black Diamond Spot. There are quite a few models called Spot, so look for the one that essentially looks like this, or click the links that are in the description of the video below. Let's spend a minute talking about how to use the headlamp. So they all essentially work the same. You push the button and that turns on the lights and whatever the last mode was that you had on. If you push the button again, that just turns the lights off. If you push the button in quick succession, you can change the mode. So now we're in strobe. If you push and hold down the button, in on mode that is, push as if you're turning it on and then hold it on, that will switch the modes. So right now we're in the bright beam, which is really bright for a headlamp. This is a super high output LED. If you hold the button down as if you were turning it off, that will dim this. If you click it real fast, that'll turn it off, and then to turn it back on, basically hit the on button again. Flip it like that, and that switches between the two modes, off and on. And if you hold the button, that dims it. Okay, if you hold it, that dims it. And then to turn it off, just click it once. So for the Zipka Plus, it's essentially the same thing. You have one button, one power button. The batteries go in the back here. This is how most headlamps work. Let me see if I can get this open for you. And in here there are 3 AAAs. I recommend you use rechargeables. This headlamp is great because you can just put it on things. You can put it on your wrist. A lot of times I'll bring both the Black Diamond Spot and this Petzl for camping, and if we do any night hikes, I'll leave this headlamp on in strobe mode at the campsite hanging off of a tree, which makes it really easy to find your camp on your way back. But to use this light, it's the same as the other one. Push it once to turn it on, so the red LED is on. Push it again to turn it off. Push it on and then hold the button in, and that changes the mode. Push the button in and that turns it off. And this one does not have the dimmable option. You basically have high, low, and red light, which is another reason that I prefer the Black Diamond. It has the battery indicator, which not all headlamps have. It has the dimmable option for all 3 of the light options, which nearly no headlamps have. And plus it has the band, and it's comfortable, and it's lightweight and super affordable. So the Black Diamond Spot is definitely the best bang for your buck. And finally, I wanted to show you a headlamp that my girlfriend picked up that I wanted to recommend you look out for and not buy. It's a decent headlamp, but for the price you can get more options and more dependability and get it from a better name brand. So this is the Princeton Tech EOS. This costs $36 on Amazon. It takes 3 AAAs. It has a 121-hour run time. This has a red LED, a spot beam, and a flood beam. So it has 3 options plus the strobe, so 4 mode. The reason I don't really like this light is just to be honest with you, you can get better for lower price. We haven't had any real issues with this, but I do think it's big, it's heavier, it's nearly twice as deep. It feels that it weighs about twice as much, and I think better value for your money would be to get the Black Diamond Spot. Okay, taking a more detailed look at the 2 models that I'm currently recommending. The standouts are the Black Diamond. This is the Black Diamond Spot. I got this off of Amazon for $32. It's an excellent headlamp. Basically has 2 LEDs that you can have on the outside for flood. You can flip it and you can go to direct beam spot, which has one high output LED. You can also hold down the button and you can dim it and control the brightness, which is a really cool feature, so dimmable. And then it also has 2 red LEDs, and you can even put those into essentially strobe mode, and by holding down the button. So this is a really cool, useful headlamp. I actually really like this lamp. This is my favorite. It has the battery indicator here, which is an extremely useful feature. And then it's got a cool mounting system here, so when it's on your head you can basically bring it up and bring it down. And like I said, it only costs $32, and the band is replaceable. If you have a different band you want to put on here, you can do that as well. So I highly recommend this headlamp for beginners and everyone except super ultralight elitists. Next up is the Zipka, or the Zipka Plus 2. As shown earlier, this one has a very lightweight corded headband system that retracts. I've got about 3 of these, and these have been my go-to for the past few years, purely because they're the lightest, the smallest, and the easiest to pack, and also because I don't actually have any long hair, so I don't have any issues with this getting caught or tangled up in my hair. Also, you can put it on your wrist, you can put it on your backpack. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll bring both headlamps with me on a camp trip, and we do a lot of night exploration, so I'll set this headlamp up as strobe or red light at some point once I figure out how to use the headlamp. Okay, and then what I'll do is we'll hang this up on a tree, visible part of the tree, and this way when we're hiking back we know where camp is, and camp is really easy to find. It also makes an excellent backup in case one of your friends forgets their headlamp, and it makes a great emergency bivvy sort of, you know, like when you're day hiking from your backpack, you leave your backpack behind and basically you bring a bunch of minimal gear. This is minimal gear. So this headlight was only $40. Unfortunately, it's discontinued now. You can pick up this model off of Amazon. This is the Petzl Zipka. It's got 100 lumens. It takes 3 AAAs, and this one actually costs $40. This is your most basic of headlamps, but also the most popular for the general public. Super lightweight. I highly recommend this. This came within 2 days. This is a good headlight for kids and beginners and people without long hair.